Episode 0006 of the Six Pack Challenge is here. We should mention, too, since last week, we have an Instagram now. We have a Facebook page now.
We do. We're all over the social media.
So don't just follow us on one. I mean, we appreciate our Twitter followers, which is where we like to live tweet during the shows and whatnot at Six Pack Cast. But follow us on all the mediums you can here, and let's do this thing. All right, so 6 new topics. This is the way it works. You are Keith. I am Mark. We love to bust open a beer, a topic, run through them here, and see what happened in this week in wrestling. So shall we start with quite the reunion here?
Maybe the most exciting thing to happen in a very long time.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
So good. We were speculating last week about, what could happen with this whole Daniel Bryan Bludgeon Brothers thing, talking about, maybe somebody might come in. Well, if you gave me 100 guesses, I wouldn't have guessed that Team Hell No back together this week.
They're back, which is funny because I thought you actually had it nailed when you were talking about going into the next pay-per-view. Maybe it would be Miz and the Bludgeon Brothers and Gallows and Anderson and Daniel Bryan. And we saw a little bit of interaction with Daniel Bryan and Gallows and Anderson. So I was like, Keith's got it.
Makes perfect sense.
He made
it's one of these times where I'm so happy that I'm wrong.
And then all of a sudden Kane comes out. And they kind of tease us with, is this actually going to be a reunion? Daniel Bryan wasn't too sure. Kane, outstretches his arms for the hug. And it was quite a moment, which I absolutely loved. I'm just counting down the moments until we get a Dr. Shelby appearance now.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think of that. Oh, I hope so.
This has to happen. We want to see that dysfunctional
just
team
go all
again.
In. Now, do you see them beating the Bludgeon Brothers? Do you see a title run? Because you have to assume that Kane isn't probably around for a long time.
Is he married yet, or what is the deal there?
Maybe it's like a lull in the political cycle right now. She's like, fuck, I got a month to fill. I'll go be Kane.
Yeah, let me just go promote on a worldwide stage of the WWE. Why not? I don't know. I mean, they did make that match already, right?
So that's announced for Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I could see a short title run here just to maybe pull it off of the Bludgeon Brothers, put it on someone else for a bit or something. I'm not sure. Maybe he's like a transitional champion, as we like to call it. But I think this is the way to go right now I don't think it hurts Daniel Bryan.
No, not at all.
It's a fun way to get him back in the mix, and I think this is the only way that Kane can be used, really, because Kane was becoming that guy where, Kane's back, cool, whatever.
At least to make Kane relevant, that's what they need to do. Mm-hmm. And, it's something to do for Daniel Bryan. He's in that weird spot of, he's going to win the title eventually. Mm-hmm. The question is when. So what do you do with Daniel Bryan till then? Let's get Team Hell No back together.
Hey,
yes!
Remember how great Team Hell No was? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, let's do it again.
Small pet peeve. Very, very small pet peeve.
Okay,
the name,
apart.
Team Hell No. That's back when Daniel Bryan was doing the no. Maybe it's time for a new name. Like you said, Team Hell Yeah.
I could see that. Why
Team
not?
Hell Yes? Team Hell Yeah?
Well, if Stone Cold joins them for a trio, then it could be Team Hell Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that just makes sense.
Oh, hell yeah!
All right, if I predicted that and that comes true,
that might be worth a few points.
Yeah, I feel like that is very
If Stone
unlikely.
Cold Steve Austin comes back, yes. That'll be a 5-pointer.
You'd be like, you know what? I'll just bow out of our bet. You can win. So, yes, of course, we do have the bet going on that we like to predict at each and every pay-per-view. Keith is ahead 12 to 7.5 after I just had a very disappointing Money in the Bank.
Indeed.
But you know what? We'll bounce back for Extreme Rules coming up very soon. Overall, it was a great week in WWE television. We're talking about Team Hell No. Bounce back to Raw here, though. This whole Kevin Owens, Braun Strowman story that is growing here and took a step forward on Raw, I'm loving it. It kind of started before Money in the Bank, where Kevin Owens was trying to, get everyone's trust in teaming up against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman decides, you know what? I want to be his friend or something. Whatever Braun Strowman says is just it just seems like he just delivers it so well.
He's just a machine of one-liners. He could say I'm going to catering.
Yeah, shirt. Exactly. So he decides he wants to be Kevin Owens' friend here, his tag partner, and obviously Kevin Owens playing the just kind of afraid, really not too sure about why Braun Strowman wants to be his friend. He, joins...
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So he joins him in the ring here. And the whole, they have the match against it was Finn Balor and Constable Corbin,
Constable Corbin and Balor,
which was an odd combo, but they just happened to be the two that were standing there with Kurt Angle while Braun Strowman was pitching this match.
Strowman one-liner. How about these two?
And he's just like, okay, I guess. Okay, so put some in the match. I love the after the match though. This is really what brought me back to Attitude Era stuff. Kevin Owens leaving the building. He grabs some security to protect himself from Braun because he still isn't too sure what's going on. Gets out in the parking lot. The valet doesn't have his keys. He points over. Oh, he has them. And there's Braun Strowman, Mr. Monster in the Bank, with his briefcase and Kevin Owens' keys in one hand. And then he points over the other way. He's like, I forget the line then, but it was, look at your car's right over there. The car is flipped over. It's smoking. A man runs over with a fire extinguisher.
Because that's going to do something to a flaming car. But you're right. It was very Attitude Era-esque. Even when I was watching it in my head, I could almost hear Jerry Lawler go like, ah, his car, JR.
This reminds me, there's not enough damage done to vehicles anymore because it seemed like there for a while it was a good weekly thing.
It was. It's a reminder that almost too much happens in the ring these days. It shows that there is room for good backstage segments.
Which I guess it saves a lot of money not having to destroy all these cars, fill a Corvette full of cement or run
They're
over.
like a $75 a stock company right now. They can probably afford.
Drive over it with a monster truck and everything they used to do back in the day. So I don't know. I thought that was a real good throwback and just a fun storyline between the two of them.
That was great.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen with Kevin Owens this week. I don't know. Just speaking of Mr. Kevin Owens, he was at a Shania Twain concert. He was Montreal.
He was doing a little bit of a campaign before that where he wanted to get Shania to play When. That's it.
His favorite song.
So didn't get what he wanted, but got a pretty good second. There's an amazing video online of Kevin Owens just he's on stage with Shania.
Even as we're saying it, I'm just
what
like,
a weird thing.
What?
Kevin Owens was on stage with Shania Twain.
And Shania Twain, she introduces him as, so what's your name? Kevin Owens. The wrestler Kevin Owens? And then, of course, he goes into actually the major WWE superstar Kevin Owens. He had a sign for Shania. This was in Montreal. And it was
so great. And he was going through all his accolades. And Shania's like, well, I should say that don't impress me much. And I popped at my desk when I heard that. That was so good. She even fed into the whole Braun Strowman storyline because he's like, well, Kevin, if you can beat Braun, then maybe I'll sing your song.
I didn't even see that part.
Okay, sir, so thank you very much for coming, for taking me up here.
You're welcome.
What's your name?
Shania, my name is Kevin Owens.
Give me 1 second. Like the Kevin Owens, wrestler Kevin Owens?
Yeah, well, I hate to correct you, but it's actually huge WWE superstar Kevin Owens.
It's really, really great to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from right here in Montreal.
Well, I really appreciate your support. I love your sign. And
I worked very hard on this, as everybody can see.
I can tell. So who's here with you?
My beautiful wife actually surprised me with tickets for your concert. It's the first time I get to see you perform live, and we're over the moon right now.
And, well, listen, you know what? Actually, I'm just realizing, you are the guy, I'm telling you, I've been getting these tweets for the last couple of weeks, really annoying, I guess, charmingly annoying tweets for me to do the song When in the concert, and it's Kevin Owens who's been sending them. It's you! You are the guy. So, what is up with that?
Well, okay, so look, I did send a few tweets your way, but mostly WWE fans sent tweets your way requesting for you to sing When tonight because it's my absolute favorite song, not just Shania Twain song, it's my absolute favorite song ever. So I figured, I'm a fellow Canadian, I'm from Montreal, why not give it a shot and try to get your I think you should consider singing When for me tonight.
Okay, so listen, I'll make you a deal. Let me think here, I don't know how we can do this, because When is not in the show, but tell me, who's your biggest rival?
Well, Shania, right now I'm actually having a lot of trouble with a fellow by the name of Braun Strowman. And yeah, I guess that would be him.
Braun Strowman. Okay, so listen, I'll make a deal with you. The next time, if you can beat Braun Strowman, the challenge, then the next time I'm in town, I will sing When.
Shania, here's the thing. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah. Oh, it's bedazzled. Here's the thing, Shania. Have you seen Braun Strowman? The guy is 7 feet tall, like 500 pounds, maybe more. Now you're asking me to beat him? Come on. Shania, seriously, I've been doing pretty well. I represent Canada as good as I can. I've won so many championships. That's got to be worth something, right? And you know what? I have more Twitter followers than you do. Come on.
It's true, but you know what? You know what? I was going to say that don't impress me much, but I do want to say that does impress me. You are awesome. You really are awesome, right? Kevin Owens. I know, but I will do it in my next concert, you know, like when elephants fly, a little more optimistic. I haven't done it for so long I don't even remember all the words. But anyway, I do love that song. I will do it for you sometime. Right now, what I want to do is can we get some photos, like selfies?
I don't get to hear When necessarily, but I get to take a selfie on stage with Shania Twain at her concert at the Bell Center. You know what? I'll take it.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you. You're wonderful. Oh, wait, I have one last request. Kevin, help me out here. Come with me. Okay. So, this is what I need help with. So if you could just get down on one knee. Thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you. Kevin Owens, everybody.
Shania Twain
weird thing.
will be at Extreme Rules. That's my next bold prediction. Interfering in the match.
Already throwing out points here. I don't know if I can go that far.
Guitar to the face, and Kevin Owens reigns supreme with the help of Shania Twain. We will definitely tweet out that video because it's a must-watch.
No kidding. And now, while things are going great for Kevin Owens, his former partner, bit of a rough week for Sami Zayn.
It's been a rough month for Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because,
things start making a little more sense now.
When we started this podcast, when we were really shitting on the one storyline was between Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley, which we don't need to go back to. We just all want to move ahead and forget that even happened. But directly after this did happen, after his Money in the Bank match, he announced that, yes, he's got an injury, a pretty significant one, too.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, he tore both his rotator cuffs and will be out of action for the remainder of 2018. He's not projected to return to WWE until WrestleMania season, which would project him around Royal Rumble 2019, but that really sucks for Sami Zayn.
When you say he's out the rest of the year, and we're only halfway through the year right now, that's rough. At least 6 months here. It's never a good time for an injury.
No, but in the position that Sami Zayn is in on the card, it could potentially be a career killer because he's not exactly at that top level, and the show does go on.
His first injury, if you remember, when he debuted, remember just throwing his arms up in the air in celebration against John Cena. It gets put out there. Like, what horrible timing there, and it just doesn't look like much better here. So.
No, sucks very bad for Sami Zayn. You start to understand why maybe those Bobby Lashley segments happened, because probably couldn't do much in the ring anyway. So, hey, we got to fill it with something.
Just had to do some jaw jacking here. Or here, tinfoil hat going on for a second. Do you think he's really injured? Or
No, they just operated on his rotator cuffs for fun.
Well, hear me out here. Hear me out. This is what I'm saying. So the angle between him and Bobby Lashley was such shit. It did not go over anywhere. Maybe, just maybe, they write him out of the storylines for 6 months. You know what? We really need to refresh you. Come back with something different or whatever. Let's kick him aside. Let's make up this fake injury story. It's all a work, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can't follow you down that road. Seems like maybe it's just a matter of circumstance of, hey, this really sucked. Thank God we got 6 months to repackage you.
That's true, yeah. Maybe everyone will forget about it by then. So, Sami Zayn, we wish him the best, and hopefully he can come back and get into some kind of a better program because we know he can deliver when he needs to. Outside of the ring, we are stepping here once again for the ESPN body issue that has been released. And for the first time ever, we have a WWE superstar involved in this. If you've seen them in the past, you know, they have stars of the MLB and NHL and NBA and every, soccer and everywhere. And they strip them all down and take these artistic shots of them.
Very revealing
in the
shots.
Nude.
Yes, in the nude.
And this time around, we have a Flair, and thank fucking God it isn't Ric Flair.
Oh, no.
I do not need to see that.
Really dodged a bullet there, didn't we?
Yeah, no kidding. There's a lot of skin, and, I know you've heard stories about Ric Flair. I don't know if the frame's big enough to fit everything in.
That's true.
Charlotte Flair, yes, has been featured in the body issue here. Have you seen the photos?
I've seen some of them. I haven't seen the issue itself, but there are some circulating online. A lot of mixed feedback on this one, which I don't really understand.
I know. I saw that too. A lot of hate.
Yeah.
Which I think the whole point of these body issues is supposed to be body positivity, and everyone just
coming together, and
all different shapes, and athletes are all different shapes and whatnot. And Charlotte's a pretty woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sometimes people just like to hate on her because she's an athlete. It's the same reason people hate on like Serena Williams and that, right? Like they're just a specimen. They're like, it's just a female specimen.
You don't get an 8-pack from eating a can of Pringles, and I think that's where some of the hate comes from.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, let's see the people that are hating online get in this body issue here. But I thought she looked great. Ric Flair was retweeting it, which I always find a little odd. It's not odd, but it's like,
weird.
Here's my naked daughter.
Yeah, anyone but Nate, because Nate has a bit of a track record. So
yeah, exactly. So no, looking good though, and it's pretty cool to see WWE get into something like this because obviously this has been a big thing for ESPN for the last few years, and just another one of those crossover things where WWE gets a little more worldwide exposure.
So a bit of a big anniversary this week. Today, actually, the day that we're recording. It's a little pay-per-view. It's the 20-year anniversary of King of the Ring 1998.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. It's that show that...
Forgotten one. Nothing ever happened in that one.
Ken Shamrock, he became King of the Ring. There was a tag team match between the New Age Outlaws and the New Midnight Express. If you don't remember, that's the memorable characters of Bodacious Bart and Bombastic Bob. Yes. Try saying that one 10 times fast.
Yes.
But a little later in the show... maybe the most insane thing to ever happen in wrestling, period, hard stop, happened. It was Undertaker versus Mankind in a Hell in a Cell.
Maybe the most famous sound clip of wrestling of all time as well.
Good God almighty, he killed him. As God is my witness, he's been broken in half.
Mr. JR.
So 20 years today that happened. How old do you feel?
I always find funny about this pay-per-view, looking at the rest of the card, you just forget what was even on that show other than, there was also the fact that Kane won the WWE title that night.
Yeah, with a stipulation, because I printed out the card here.
Oh, I love this.
It was a first blood match between Kane and Stone Cold Steve Austin. If Kane lost, he would have to set himself on fire.
Those are high
is
stakes.
The most Attitude Era ass stipulation.
No kidding.
And that's not even the craziest thing that happened on that show.
No.
Because Mick Foley...
Fuck it, I'll light myself on fire. If I lose, that's it. So yeah, Kane wins it. I think he lost it back the next night on Raw.
Yeah, he did.
Did he not? Yeah. So, that's a whole other thing to dive into. That, as legendary as Kane is, we're still talked about him. He's still here in Team Hell No in 2018 here. really been champion like a couple times and no really lengthy, like memorable title run for Kane.
No, I think really his most memorable title run is that, and I use memorable in quotes here, is the that world title run on SmackDown, where he was feuding with The Undertaker and they killed Paul Bear and good times.
Yeah, but obviously what everyone remembers, like you said, Mick Foley being thrown off of the Hell in a Cell.
Not once.
Yeah,
but twice, with a steel chair smoking him in the face on the way down. Like, probably the craziest thing to ever happen in wrestling.
Tooth jammed up his nose with that, that memorable sight of him sitting in the corner.
It's the most memorable, not tragic thing to happen in wrestling. I should put that context in there.
Yes, true. I mean, I've always heard that when Taker threw him off, that was planned, but the other one he wasn't supposed to go through, which is maybe the harder bump, too. And you're just like...
Like, listening to Foley back, he says, like, that's the one that hurt. Not the one where he got thrown through a table.
No.
Where a centimeter off could have gone horribly wrong, because looking back at that, he almost hit that guardrail.
Oh,
imagine how different history would be if he did.
Yep.
But, yeah, probably one of the most memorable things, like I've said.
And it's still just as shocking every time, I feel. Like, I don't think it wears off when you watch it over and over, even today.
Absolutely not.
It's still, like, every time you're just like, oh, like, how? And we've seen, now we've seen Shane McMahon jump off the Hell in a Cell a couple times and everything. But it's still just that one, like, obviously, it was one of the first time someone was thrown off of a cell and threw it. And it's just still so, it sticks in your head every time you watch it.
Yep,
so.
It's that crunch when he hits the table.
Yep. All right, 20 years ago for 1998's King of the Ring. Here's something interesting that popped up on Twitter. Now, usually, actually, we should mention that the sixth topic, we usually shit all over something.
Exactly. It's our little turd of the week.
This will happen from time to time. Rarely, I think, but this was a really good week in WWE.
It was. This is almost like a gift. There's nothing really to shit on this week.
No, there were a couple minor things here and there I'm sure we could really try and pick apart, but otherwise, overall, a pretty good week. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to just throw something in, a little fantasy booking here, a little...
tinfoil hats are on?
Yeah, because they tweeted this out, retweeted Booker T. Someone had mentioned something on Twitter, and he responded to them and just said, hey, maybe I'll hop in for one more match. So, and then just gets the wheels turning. All right, Booker T, 53 years old, obviously still in tremendous shape and everything. I think he could get back in there no problem with a little bit of time to kind of get the ring rust off or whatever. Do you have someone in mind who you think you would like to see Booker T take on if he were to return for one more match?
This is going to sound really mean, but honestly, no.
No.
Honestly... I respect what he did in his career and the way that he's shaping the future with his wrestling school and stuff. But honestly, I've never really been the biggest Booker T fan. Like, there's the generic answers, I guess. Like, I'd like to see him face AJ Styles because I want to see AJ Styles wrestle every superstar ever. But
yeah, you pick the top guy in different areas. Did they made a cross pass in TNA?
Maybe in TNA, probably during like the main event Mafia stuff. I'd have to go back and look at that. But I don't know. There's not really anybody that comes to mind of like, I really want to see Booker T wrestle this one.
See, I was a big fan of Booker T, but not King Booker. I didn't like the King Booker.
You mean
stuff.
Booker?
Yeah, King Booker. I wasn't really a fan of that.
It was fun at first, but kind of wore thin.
I'm more of like a Harlem Heat Booker T fan.
Yeah.
Plus, here's where I'm going with this because I thought the same thing here where I was looking through and I'm like, well, yeah, it'd be cool to see him versus this guy, but who really? What I'd like to see is a quick reunion. We just had Team Hell No. Let's get Book Dust back together. Him and Gold Dust.
Okay.
They had some gold back in the day, no pun intended. And then, just a quick program with a decent build, though, on, I don't know, he comes back just for maybe just some backstage segments or something. Gold Dust turns on him or something. You always held me back, whatever, some kind of storyline like that, just to lead to just a nice Booker T Gold Dust match. Like nothing too high profile, just to get Booker back in there for one more and kind of say farewell. I'd like to see that.
All right, I could get behind that.
All right, what we run through 6 already?
There's one thing left to do.
What's that?
We talked about it earlier. We have our prediction game going on, our prediction bet, but we've yet to choose a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's first to 50 points.
Yep.
I'm currently in the lead.
You're at 12. I'm at 7.5.
Mm-hmm. So not that much of a substantial lead.
No.
We went to Twitter. We asked for suggestions on what the loser should do. It's still a very fair game, but because I'm in the lead, I'm going to let you choose what happens here.
What do we have? What were the suggestions?
One way or another, we're singing. It's just a matter of what.
Okay.
A suggestion from Epic JC on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
The loser sings the first 30 seconds of Jillian Hall's theme. You know the one.
Oh, man. I would really have to go back and remember that. I mean, I remember Jillian Hall singing and that gross thing in her face. I can't think of any lyrics, but I mean, should I lose?
Yeah, should you lose, you will know it quite well.
Yeah, exactly.
Another suggestion from Twitter from Sushant B is singing Nia Jax's theme in its entirety, not like most girls.
Actually, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna jinx myself. I was about to bust into it right there, but I feel I will not have to sing it.
Save that for the loss.
I will not have to.
If it happens.
Okay.
And this one comes from Keith, sitting right across the desk from you.
That guy's an asshole.
So a little while ago, I'm a bit of a dick. You mentioned that you were listening to WWE Originals, so it gave me the beautiful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Loser sings the entirety. Put a little ass on it. The golden
Rikishi
gem.
theme.
The golden gem of WWE Originals.
I thought you were going to give me the option. Well, I don't know why I keep saying me like I've already lost this, but I thought we were going to get the option of picking one of the tracks off of the WWE Originals.
Oh, no.
But I mean,
no. It's put a little ass on it or nothing.
That is the best
That's how I like to live my life.
All right.
So,
well, those are some interesting choices. I am going to have to say, I just feel it'd be really funny to hear Nia Jax's theme coming out of one of our mouths. So, not like most girls. Yep. That's what it's going to be. That's what you're going to be singing here eventually once I get to 50 points. So, and we'll do many of these too. So,
indeed, this is only the first one.
This is the first one. So,
and just so you know, with some experience from this, it doesn't leave you. It stays with you forever. Well, it's going to make my lead more substantial.
All right. Well, we do have Extreme Rules coming up very, very soon here. And, we need to end things off here, first of all, with our 1, 2, 3 game, because I feel this is going to work. I'm not giving up hope one time.
0 for 5 so far.
If nothing else, I do like the kind of random fantasy matches we come up with here.
It is fun.
Shouting out.
I've started thinking about my person by who would be fun in a match.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
I got mine.
1, 2, 3.
Dan
Chavo
Severn.
Guerrero. Chavo Guerrero and Dan Severn.
Well, that's a one-sided match if I've ever heard.
You took someone off of the card from King of the Ring 1998 there.
I did.
I believe he took on
a first-round loss against The Rock.
I got to go Chavo on this
Really?
one. I got to go Chavo.
No, Dan Severn would kill him in 45 seconds flat. Dan the Beast Severn, he'd come out with that badass theme of his, which is still one of the best wrestling themes of all time. Just come in there, do his MMA thing.
He does
just
have that
take him
mustache.
down.
That mustache is pretty awesome.
It's basically worth 10 points on its own.
That's true. In a legit fight, he will rip his face off.
If it was Dan Severn versus Kerwin White, well, that would be a whole different story.
Well, yeah. Do I get to pick which version of Chavo Guerrero? There's another question. With Dolph Ziggler as his caddy.
Yes.
All right, well, there we go. So there's another great fantasy matchup. I feel like that'll be the title of this episode.
Fantasy matchup.
Like Dan Severn rips Chavo Guerrero's face off or something. I was like, what? I'm interested.
So much better than that.
All right, as always, you can follow us on Twitter at SixPackCast there. That's where we like to tweet along with the shows and whatnot. We have our punishment all set here now. We like to throw some fun games out there once in a while. I did one earlier this week where I was just thinking if you matched up an NXT superstar with a WWE legend and came up with a different name for them. We got one from, I can't believe I don't have who it is right now, but someone tweeted us Adam Cole and Carlito, and you can call him Adam's Apple.
That's
Something
pretty
like that,
good.
right? It's fun. So you put them together. If you want to do that, find us on Instagram, find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Am I missing anything?
I think that's all the platforms we have. And just once again, want to send a special shout out to Cynical Cypher on Twitter for the amazing logo.
Yes, you will find it there. The black and green there looks absolutely amazing. And so we're heading into episode 0007.
Yeah, our 6-pack of casts is over. Now it's a whole new horizon.
True.
We're like a 6-pack of podcasts and now.
You know what? I keep promising this, but we actually will have theme music and whatnot coming very, very soon.
Very, very soon.
Very, very, very soon. Again, we had those unforeseen circumstances this week, but we're glad we got episode 0006 out. Tweet us if you're listening, where you're listening, how you're listening, when you're listening, whatever. Just we don't want to know that you're listening. So episode 0007 coming next week.
I'm going to catering.